Hello, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to explain you on SDLC and DevOps. Before jumping into the explanation, let me put the concepts I'm going to explain you on this video. Initially, I'm going to explain you on DevOps, what is DevOps, and I'm going to explain you what is SDLC and what are the SDLC models companies follow and how are they designed. I will explain you on development and operation teams, their roles and responsibilities, and how DevOps helps them in transformations. And what are the 5 core principles of DevOps, DevOps benefits for the organization, and finally end up with explaining a simple DevOps pipeline design. And the overall picture looks like this. So I'm going to share you the download link for this presentation at the end of this video. You can use it for your presentations, demos, trainings, etc. Okay, I don't want to take you much time, so let's jump into and start decoding each and every element. Let's start with DevOps. So before explaining this, I want to share you a simple principle which I generally follow while learning any new topics or concepts. That is W2H principle. If you can see on the right side top, that's W2H principle. So what is the W2H principle? So 2 W's and 1 H. So 2 W's are what and why, and 1 H is for how. So what is the concept all about? Why are we using this concept? And how are we going to implement this concept? So this practice makes you more and more comfort to understand any particular new topic or concept. So please do follow if you like this principle. Okay, let's jump to the topic now. So what is DevOps? Culture to streamline the release process, improving product offerings with better team collaboration. What does it mean actually? A DevOps is a culture or set of practices or a mindset which tries to enable the team to collaborate or combine or form a transparent layer to bridge among the teams so that each and every member in the team gets involved and solve each other's problems. So, working together for speed and stability. Before implementing DevOps, we should be aware of the team's development model, SDLC, that is Software Development Life Cycle. Let me explain you that first. So Software Development Life Cycle, SDLC, is a methodology how the teams in the organization are designing the development work into multiple phases to improve the design, product and project management. So there are multiple models for SDLC. In this video I'm going to explain you few of them. Let's go. Yeah, there comes. And this is one of the old SDLC models called waterfall model, where project activities like requirement, design, implement, verification and maintenance are broken down into linear sequential phases, where each phase depends on the deliverables of the previous one. Means it is like less iterative and less flexible approach, because the progress flow goes from our one direction downwards like a waterfall, which lags in revisiting or revising any prior phase once it is completed. So which is one of the drawbacks of waterfall model, and of course it takes a longer delivery time. And next comes is the V model. So if you can see in the picture, V model tends to be an extension to waterfall model. Instead of moving downwards in a linear way, it is bent up towards the coding phase to form a V shape, where left side of the V is a verification phase and the right side is a validation phase, if you can see there. So what happens? So this makes tough to get the software design in the early stages. Okay, so on the other hand we have Agile, which is the latest software development models. So it is an iterative development model where teams are mature enough to pick the requirements, break them into pieces, discuss, and individual members of the team, given the importance and flexibility to choose the task he is good with. Release of the product is done as a smaller pieces, which shows the business benefits in the early stage of development. Everyday interactions with the team develops better communication. So this is how the three SDLC models are being designed. And moving forward, now let's discuss on DevOps. So if you ever discuss about DevOps, there will be a buzz, like there will be involvement of development and operations. And what are these teams? So two teams are mainly involved. One is the development team, other one is the operations team. So let's talk about development teams, which is Dev. So Dev is a shorthand for developers in particular, but really in practice it is even wider and means all the people involved in developing the product, which can include product, QA and other kinds of principles. So this will bring the teams closer and eliminates a gap between them. That means the testing team and development team work together in the dev. And whereas the operations team is a combination of system engineers, system administrators, operations staff, release engineers, DBAs, network engineers, security professionals. They are responsible for development, maintenance, monitor and fix the errors. So this idea on development team and operations team. Now let's see how the bridge has been formed between the two teams. So moving to next is the continuous integration. So what is continuous integration? So it is a practice of merging and testing the code every time developer pushes the changes into a centralized source code manager. This is the best practice to avoid conflicts and helps to detect the problems in the early stage of development by validating the software as soon as it is pushed into the source control system. And next, it is a continuous delivery. So continuous delivery, what is this? This process helps to deliver the software updates to release in a smaller increments, ensuring that software can be released at any time. In other words, we can say it as a state of being ready to release. This will lead to faster releases. And from the operation side, we have continuous deployments. So the ability to deploy automatically to the production continually and give the feedback of the deployment process. And next one is the continuous monitoring. Continuous monitoring refers to the process of implementing some monitorings across each phase of software development lifecycle. This continually ensures that the health, performance and reliability of the software upgrading from development environment to the production environment. So this is about the teams and how the bridge is being filled with the DevOps principles. Now let us talk about the 5 core principles of DevOps. So if you see, there are 5 core principles of DevOps. So the first one is the culture. So what is a culture? So culture is something shared responsibilities for development, deployment and operations. So sharing discoveries, practices, tools and learning across silos is encouraged on this culture. And next comes the automation. Automation is a key for DevOps to avoid manual reusable stuff. Automate the life cycle using a continuous delivery pipeline. Building the tool chains to help teams and focus on automating healthy process. And next comes is the lean. Lean is to maintain smaller batch sizes, limiting the work in progress and extreme visibility. It accelerates the delivery by reducing the key lengths. So if there is a lengthy task, we always try to avoid doing a lengthy task and we concentrate on MVP, minimum viable product. So next comes is the measurement. So measurement is a very key for any process, not only for DevOps, any process. So measurement is like measuring the flow of development through pipeline telemetry, broadcast the measurement, and continuously try to improve the measurement or the telemetry before and after problem solving. Now, the final one is recovery. So what is recovery? So have you are already aware of that one. The recovery means something with a enabling low risk and fast recovery model architecture for fast reversion and fast fix forward. Plan for failure rehearse like Chaos Monkey. So what is Chaos Monkey? Chaos Monkey is a tool designed by Netflix to test the resilience of the IT infrastructure through inducing specific type of failures, randomly shutting down the instances in order to simulate random server failure. So altogether it's again a new topic, and I'm going to explain you on the next video. So these are the 5 core principles, and every team should adapt these 5 core principles to be a successful DevOps team. Now let's talk about the benefits. So what are the benefits DevOps provides? So if you see the first one, the faster lead time means, what is the lead time actually? The time elapsed between the order and the delivery. So by using DevOps, you can experience the 440 times increase in the lead time. It means the lead time, the time elapsed between order and the delivery, you will get faster by using the delivery pipelines. And fewer defects. We use lot of tools to scan the product before it goes to deployment, so that the errors or the defects can be decreased by 96 times. And next comes is the frequent deployments. So how frequent we can do the deployments by using DevOps? So we use pipelines. So frequent deployments can be done over 46 times to shorter pipelines and more delivery cycles. So next comes is the faster recovery, as a product is passed through the same pipeline multiple times and the environment, leading to increase in recovery speed by 24 times. Through frequent feedbacks, the next one is a frequent feedbacks. So through frequent feedbacks, the process at each and every stage of the development cycle, it makes us easy to estimate, or it makes us easy to detect where the error is, so we can take the similar steps. Okay, now I will show you a simple pipeline. Let's see this one. So when you are designing the pipeline, the foremost comes is a source code manager. So what is a source code manager? So source code manager is something as a centralized server which takes the code and it maintains the versions of the code. It maintains the person who has committed the code, the logs, audit logs, the securities, authentications, authorizations, the connectivity, the backups. So where we can completely have a source code optimized and maintained over the versions. Again, the source code manager provides a lot of other benefits as well, like branching, and multiple developers can work at the same time, the parallelism of progress, and of course the backup of the code. And next follows the unit test. So what is the unit test usually? So when we have a code in hand, we usually prefer to do the code level testing. So that's what we call as a unit testing. So we do entirely a code level testing to check the standards of the code early. And next comes is the static code analysis. Like if my code is exposed to some sort of vulnerabilities, bugs, warnings, or anything like system details, my database details, or my company details, or passwords exposed, or the quality of the code to release. So these things will get detected by using the static code analysis tools. And Next comes the build. This is the essential tool for any releases if we are going to some sort of programming languages. If you take a Java, if you take a .NET, these sort of languages needs a build. So that what is build means? To package the code so that system can read the code which is ready to deploy. So this sort of packaging is done here on this stage, and once it is done, it is uploaded to the artifact repository. And next comes the deploy. So deploying the code. So why we are using the deployment code in the CI/CD pipeline? Because we are deploying it to multiple servers before going to the production. So the servers can be deployment servers like a delivery, develop, UAT, SID, and production, and followed by functional testing. That's the post deployment test. It can be functional testing, it can be regression testing, any sort of things. So we design this entire pipeline by using sort of tools. So regarding the tools and everything, I'm gonna explain you on our next video. Thank you for listening to this video, and please scan the below QR which will take you to the presentation.